The algorithm always knows. Funds successfully anonymized. My brother Derek announced at Sunday lunch, his phone screen glowing with blockchain transaction hashes. Tumbled through 3 mixers. Untraceable. My father clapped him on the shoulder. Our mother actually teared up. So smart, she whispered. Using modern technology to preserve the family medical fund. I said nothing. Just cut my chicken carefully, watching Derek's face glow with triumph in the afternoon light streaming through the restaurant windows. The ice in my water glass rattled when I set it down too hard. You understand, Sarah, right? Mom turned to me, dabbing her eyes with the linen napkin. Dad's surgery costs were extraordinary. Derek found a way to protect what's left. What she meant was, Derek found a way to steal the $340,000 my grandmother left specifically for family medical emergencies, tumble it through cryptocurrency mixers, and convert it into assets only he could access. What she meant was, we're all going to pretend this is smart financial planning instead of theft. Very clever, I said quietly. Derek leaned back satisfied. That's the thing about blockchain, sis. Once it's mixed properly, even the IRS can't track it. It's just random wallet addresses. Beautiful, really. Beautiful, I echoed. He'd spent 15 minutes explaining his scheme. 3 different mixing services. Conversion to Monero. Back to Bitcoin through a privacy exchange. Finally into a cold wallet whose seed phrase only he possessed. He'd even shown me the transaction IDs, confident in their opacity. My father raised his wine glass. To Derek. The only one in this family with vision. I excused myself to the bathroom, locked the door, pulled out my phone. My work email had 63 unread messages. I ignored all of them except one with the subject line, Chainalysis Pattern Match Priority. Before I tell you what happened next, let me ask you something. Have you ever watched someone celebrate their own destruction? Drop a comment and let me know where you're listening from and what time it is for you. I'd love to know who's part of our community. The call came at 9:47 a.m. Monday morning. Sarah Vance. The voice was professionally neutral. This is Director Chin, Federal Cryptocurrency Task Force. Your algorithm flagged a suspicious pattern involving structuring and mixing services. Reference number CT 2024-8847. We need your analysis before proceeding with enforcement. I pulled up the case file. My stomach tightened. Pattern recognition algorithm version 4.7. My algorithm, the one I'd spent 3 years developing, had identified a classic mixing evasion scheme. Source wallet connected to a joint trust account. Structured withdrawals just under reporting thresholds. 3 sequential mixer services. Monero conversion. Reemergence in a single-owner cold wallet. Confidence score. 97.3%. Flagged violations. 31 USC 5324 structuring. 18 USC 1956 money laundering. Potential 18 USC 1343 wire fraud. Account holder of source wallet. Vance Family Medical Trust. Account holder of destination wallet. Derek Michael Vance. Ms. Vance? Are you there? I'm here, I said. My voice sounded distant. I see the pattern. Given the family trust designation, we need your determination whether this represents legitimate estate planning or criminal asset conversion. Your call. I thought about 10 years of Sunday lunches where I wasn't invited. I thought about my college fund that had to be redirected to Derek's living expenses during his entrepreneurship phase. I thought about Christmas 2019 when they went to Maui and told me the rental house was family only, which apparently didn't include me despite sharing their DNA. I thought about my grandmother's funeral where she'd specifically told me the medical fund was for everyone who needs it forever. Not legitimate, I said clearly. This is textbook structuring with mixing evasion. The source account had explicit trust designation requiring unanimous beneficiary approval. Blockchain analysis shows unilateral conversion to single-owner cryptocurrency. I recommend full enforcement. Understood. We'll coordinate with the U.S. Attorney's Office. Expect seizure warrants within 72 hours. The line went dead. I sat very still in my cubicle. Through the window, I could see the Treasury building, gray and imposing against the morning sky. I worked in a basement office 3 floors below street level, writing code that tracked the movement of value through systems designed to hide it. My official title was Senior Algorithm Developer Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. My family thought I was just a programmer. Derek had literally called me that at Thanksgiving. Just a programmer. Not like she's doing anything important. The irony was exquisite. Let me tell you what that medical fund represented. My grandmother established it in 2008 with $400,000. The explicit terms written in her trust documents. Available to any family member facing medical expenses, no questions asked, no repayment required. Over 15 years, here's who used it. Dad's knee surgery, 2010 $47,000. Derek's anxiety treatment, at luxury rehab, 2012 $65,000. Mom's cosmetic procedures, 2015 $28,000. Derek's chronic fatigue diagnosis requiring beach recovery in Thailand, 2017 $34,000. Dad's elective spine fusion, 2019 $89,000. Total, $263,000. Here's who was told the fund was depleted when they needed it. Me, 2016 denied $12,000 for emergency appendectomy. Told to use credit cards. Me, 2018 denied $8,000 for wisdom teeth surgery. Told it wasn't serious enough. Me, 2021 denied $15,000 for physical therapy after car accident. Told to just rest. I paid those bills myself. Went into debt. Worked overtime at FinCEN to cover the interest. Meanwhile, Derek had full access to the fund's online portal. He'd check the balance regularly, ensuring enough remained for his future emergencies. What he didn't know, the fund was administered through a regional bank that had a data-sharing agreement with FinCEN. What he didn't know, I had legitimate access to transaction monitoring systems. What he didn't know, I'd been watching. I watched him drain it to $340,000 through loans he never repaid. I watched him list himself as primary trustee after our grandmother died, despite the trust documents requiring family consensus. I watched him transfer the entire remaining balance to a cryptocurrency exchange last month. And I watched my algorithm flag every single transaction. This is what they don't tell you about normalized cruelty. How a family can train you to believe your needs don't matter while their wants are emergencies. How they can spend your inheritance on beach houses and facelifts while you're choosing between rent and surgery. How they can look you in the eye and call it love. But I didn't confront them. I documented. I waited. I wrote better code. The seizure warrant executed Wednesday at 6:23 a.m. Federal agents arrived at Derek's condo simultaneously with the digital asset freeze. His cold wallet, the untraceable one, was locked by court order before he'd finished his first coffee. The legal documents were beautiful in their precision. United States District Court, Eastern District of Virginia. Case number 24-CR8847. United States of America versus Derek Michael Vance. Violations. 31 U.S.C. 5324. Structuring transactions to evade reporting. 18 U.S.C. 1956. Money laundering through cryptocurrency mixing. 18 U.S.C. 1343. Wire fraud, misappropriation of trust assets. My phone started ringing at 7:15 a.m. Derek first, what the fuck did you do? Then Mom, the FBI is at Derek's house. How could you? Then Dad, call off your dogs. This is family business. I didn't answer. I was in a meeting with Director Chin and an assistant U.S. attorney, walking them through the technical evidence. The mixing pattern is distinctive, I explained, pulling up my analysis on the conference room screen. 3 services in sequence. Wasabi Samurai coin join. Classic progression. But each mixer has a unique tumbling signature. The timing intervals between hops, the denomination splitting pattern, the change address reuse. They create a fingerprint. The AUSA leaned forward. You can track through the mixers? Not perfectly. But we don't need to. The pattern recognition algorithm identifies structured behavior regardless of obfuscation. He made 97 withdrawals from the trust account, each under $10,000 over 6 weeks. That's textbook structuring. The mixing just adds money laundering charges. And your relationship to the defendant? Brother, I said flatly. Which is irrelevant to the pattern analysis. The algorithm flagged the activity before I identified the account holder. I confirmed the violation based on technical merits. Director Chen nodded. The blockchain analysis is definitive. We can demonstrate source account ownership, structured withdrawal pattern, mixer service usage, and final destination wallet control. Defense will be difficult. Impossible, the AUSA corrected. He documented everything himself. Transaction IDs, wallet addresses, even screenshots of the mixing services. It's a prosecutor's dream. I thought about Derek showing me his phone at lunch, proud of his cleverness. I thought about him explaining each step of his scheme, confident I couldn't understand the technology. He was right that I couldn't track the mixed coins through pure blockchain analysis. He was wrong that it mattered. The algorithm doesn't care about individual coins. It cares about patterns, timing, volume, behavior. And Derek's behavior screamed guilt in every timestamp. The family confrontation happened that evening. They showed up at my apartment without warning. Dad pounded on the door hard enough that my neighbor opened his to check if I was safe. "Let us in, Sarah." Mom's voice, sharp as glass. "We need to talk about what you've done." I opened the door but didn't step aside. They pushed past anyway. Derek looked like he'd aged 5 years in 12 hours. His skin was gray. His hands shook. "You have to fix this," he said. "Tell them it was a mistake. Tell them the algorithm is wrong." "The algorithm isn't wrong. Sarah." Dad's commanding voice, the one he used in the operating room. "You will call your supervisor and explain this was a misunderstanding." Derek was protecting family assets, not stealing them. From himself. I asked. "He converted trust funds to personal cryptocurrency. That's not protection. That's theft." Mom started crying. Right on cue. "How can you do this to your brother?" "Over money." "Over $340,000. I corrected. "The last of Grandma's medical fund." Which had explicit terms. Which Derek violated. Derek lunged forward. For a moment I thought he might actually hit me. Dad caught his arm. "You smug bitch," Derek hissed. "You're just jealous. You've always been jealous that I'm the successful one." "You're unemployed," I said quietly. "You've been unemployed for 3 years. Living off the trust fund while telling everyone you're consulting." "I was building something." "You were stealing something. My algorithm just proved it." Dad's face went red. "Your algorithm. That's what this is about. Your ego. You wrote some code and now you're playing God with your family." "I'm not playing anything. The Financial Crimes Enforcement Network investigates financial crimes. Derek committed financial crimes. The fact that he's my brother doesn't create an exemption." "You could have warned me," Derek said. His voice cracked. "You could have told me to stop." "I tried. Thanksgiving 2022. I told you cryptocurrency transactions are traceable despite mixing. You laughed at me. Said I didn't understand blockchain technology." He had. Laughed right in my face. Called me technologically illiterate because I worked for the government instead of a crypto startup. Now his precious mixers had mixed him straight into federal custody. Mom grabbed my hands. Hers were cold. "Please, Sarah. He's your brother. He made a mistake. Can't you show mercy?" "He made 97 structured withdrawals over 6 weeks, I said. "That's not a mistake. That's a deliberate pattern designed to evade detection. That's what the law calls consciousness of guilt." "The law." Dad spat the words. "You're choosing the law over your family. I'm choosing integrity over enabling a criminal." Derek's phone buzzed. He looked at it and went even paler. "They froze everything," he whispered. "The accounts. The wallets. Everything. 18 U.S.C. 1956 permits pretrial asset seizure in money laundering cases," I said. "Standard procedure. How can you be so cold?" Mom's tears were streaming now. "This is your brother. Your family." "No," I said. "Family doesn't steal from dying grandmothers. Family doesn't deny emergency medical care while taking luxury vacations. Family doesn't laugh when you explain their crimes are traceable and then commit them anyway." I walked to my door and opened it. "You need to leave now. My attorney advised me not to discuss an active federal investigation with the subjects under investigation." "Your attorney?" Dad's voice dropped to something dangerous. "You're threatening us with lawyers now?" "I'm protecting myself from potential witness tampering charges." Which is what this conversation becomes if you continue pressuring me to provide false testimony. They left. Derek last, turning at the doorway. I'll remember this, he said. Good, I replied. Remember it in prison. The deadbolt clicked behind them. Final. Permanent. I sat on my couch in the silence, hands shaking, and wondered if this was what freedom felt like. The trial took 8 months. Derek's attorney tried everything. Argued the mixing services were for privacy, not evasion. Claimed the trust documents were ambiguous. Suggested I had a personal vendetta that biased the investigation. The prosecution demolished every argument. They presented the trust documents, crystal clear terms requiring unanimous consent. They presented Derek's structured withdrawals. 97 transactions, all under $10,000, all within a 6-week window. They presented his text messages bragging about untraceable funds. They presented the blockchain analysis showing every hop through every mixer to his final wallet. And they presented me. I testified for 6 hours. Explained the algorithm. Explained pattern recognition. Explained how mixing services create false confidence in criminals who don't understand that behavior patterns are more revealing than transaction paths. Derek's attorney tried to rattle me. Ms. Vance, isn't it true you resented your brother's success? My brother was unemployed and living off stolen funds, I replied. That's not success. That's parasitism. Isn't it true you were denied access to family funds and harbored resentment? Yes. I was denied funds from an account my brother was actively embezzling from. That's called being a victim of the same crime, counselor. Your Honor, the attorney sputtered. The judge waved him off. The witness may answer. Continue, Ms. Vance. The algorithm flagged the violations before I knew the suspect's identity, I said clearly. My personal history is irrelevant to the pattern analysis. The code doesn't care about family dynamics. It cares about structured transactions designed to evade federal reporting requirements. Derek committed those violations. The blockchain proves it. The jury deliberated for 4 hours. Guilty on all counts. Sentencing. 7 years federal prison, $340,000 restitution, $50,000 fine. The judge's words. Mr. Vance, you displayed contempt for the law, for your family trust obligations, and for your grandmother's clearly stated wishes. You believed technology would shield you from accountability. Instead, it provided the evidence of your guilt. The fact that your own sister's work led to your prosecution speaks not to bias but to the transparency of your violations. Derek stared at me through the entire sentencing. I didn't look away. 2 years later, I'm in Seattle. New job. Senior Director of Blockchain Analysis, private sector, triple the salary. New apartment. Downtown, floor-to-ceiling windows, no family photos. New life. Friends who chose me, not DNA. The $340,000 restitution was deposited into the medical fund's successor account. I'm the sole trustee now. Grandmother's lawyer helped me establish it properly, with ironclad terms preventing future theft. I used $15,000 to finally get the physical therapy I needed. The rest sits there, available for actual medical emergencies for actual family, which currently means me and 2 cousins who stood by me during the trial. Derek gets out in 5 years. Mom and Dad stopped calling after year 1 when I wouldn't write a letter supporting his appeal. Last I heard, they moved to Arizona to be closer to the prison. The extended family split cleanly. Half think I'm a vindictive bitch who destroyed her brother over money. Half think I'm a hero who stopped a criminal from stealing more. I don't care much about either opinion. Here's what I learned. The algorithm is neutral. It doesn't care about family loyalty or Sunday dinners or shared childhood memories. It cares about patterns of behavior that violate the law. And sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let the algorithm run. Derek thought technology was magic that would protect him. He was half right. Technology is powerful. But magic doesn't exist, and every transaction leaves traces for people who know how to read them. He tumbled his coins through mixers. I tumbled his freedom through code. The difference is, my algorithm was designed to catch exactly what he was doing. His mixers were designed by people who never met someone like me. Sometimes family is the people who see your worth. Sometimes family is the people who see your work. Sometimes family is the algorithm that doesn't care who you're related to, only whether you broke the law. I chose the algorithm. I'd choose it again. The trash took itself out. I just had to stop blocking the door.